day for it, friends. Start of a new week, new project on the table, and we have a made in Japan Fender Jazzmaster. Beautiful looking thing. I actually had a Jazzmaster last year for my birthday. I had the Jazzmaster Squire one, which was a nice guitar, but wasn't quite what I was looking for, so I sold it pretty soon after. This is one crafted in Japan. It has got a P serial number, P and 6 digits. Great looking thing. If there's one criticism of these guitars for me, it's the bridge, which doesn't stay in great tune. They seem to rock and move about, and the weedy little frets. Now these frets are going to be reprofiled. There's just enough meat left on them to do that. They're really weedy, about 2 millimeters wide. I recommended somewhere down the line we go for a full refret because there's a lot of wear down this end. But the owner's decided if I can profile them, he's asked me to profile them for now because this is only a backup guitar, and he'll look at getting a refret somewhere down the line. So what are we going to do? Well, I am going to reprofile the frets. I'm going to give it a proper setup, cut the nuts, and we are replacing that bridge. And I recommended we go with a Staytrem. This gubbins. I don't know if the receipt's in there. Is the receipt in there? No. Well, anyway, it was 71 quid. You get the Allen key with it. These are fantastic. These saddles do not move about. Problem with this one is the saddles move about. They're on springs. It's not a very good design. But the Staytrem is a brilliant invention. Now you can have two choices. You can have one where it rocks and one where it doesn't. Because the owner does slightly use a tremolo, he says we'll get the rocking one. So this will still rock backwards and forwards on the pivots and move with the tremolo, but the saddles won't move, which will give much better tuning stability. This is a 7 1/4 inch radius one. You can get the 7 1/4 or the 9 1/2. So this is really just a drop-in fit, really simple, really easy to set up. The height is adjusted with the Allen key, so really great piece of kit. So that is no problem. So really, it's going to get a fret level, a setup, and a new bridge. That is it. Lovely guitar. I've not tried the tremolo. It's a locking version of the tremolo, which is nice. They are pretty decent. It's a great looking guitar. I was looking for one. It's got a couple of dings in there. I would look for one of these myself. I'd love to get one of these. I think you can pick them up. People tend to stick them on eBay for about 800 quid. I'm thinking a good condition one, probably £650 about right. If I could get one for £650, I would probably buy one. But would I want the P90 type pickups or the Jazzmaster pickups? I'm not sure. I do love the sound of a neck pickup, but that said, I compared one of these to my Telecaster, and my Telecaster on my neck pickup sounds 5 times better than these. My 2008 standard American Telecaster sounds amazing. I did swap out the bridge pickup on that for a little 59 mini humbucker, but the neck pickup on a Tele batters this, so I'm not mad keen. Would I look for one like this, or would I look for something a little bit different? I'd probably go for a Jaguar with 2 humbuckers splittable. They'd probably really suit me, so I don't know. But one of these, I'd like to buy one, but I'd also like to buy a Jaguar because I'm really into the Smiths and Johnny Marr, especially Johnny Marr. I love Johnny Marr, so I'd love to get a Johnny Marr type guitar. So that remains to be seen what I'm going to do with that. But back to this guitar. Yep, we're going to check all the electrics. We're going to go for a complete setup, complete fret profile, and we're swapping the bridge. Not difficult. Day's work in this quite easily. So I'm going to crack on with this a little bit later. I've got to go out and nip out and do something at church this morning. So I'm not going to be working on this right now, but I will be prepping it for the work, and I will make a start this afternoon. With the old strings on, but the new bridge installed, I've set the guitar up again just to see how this is going to work. Now the old one, as you can see, it would have been wobbling about because the owner had wrapped tape around it to stop it wobbling. Now, he could have had the option of the new bridge to come with 2 actually fitted sleeves that fit over the sleeves of a new one and stop it rocking. So I asked him if he wanted to use a tremolo or not. If you go for not using the tremolo, you get the one with the sleeves. It's no extra cost. We just send you the sleeves free and you don't get no rock. But he says he might use a tremolo, so I've gone for the rocking version of the tremolo. So that obviously is just the stems on there. So this means, you can see from here, when you use the tremolo up and down, this will rock forwards or backwards. And to show you how that works, it works that way and that way. And when it comes to setting it up, you want to set it somewhere in the middle, which is just about there. But it is still very, very stable. I would like to have seen the grommets on these. When I first started setting Jazzmasters and Jaguars up, I always said, why don't they have grommets on the outside to stop them rocking about? And it's because of the tremolo. And if the tremolo, that's locked at the moment, if I unlock the tremolo, watch the bridge while I press the tremolo. It moves backwards and forwards ever so slightly with the tremolo. But that is still really quite stable. See if we can show you from this angle. Much better looking at it from this side. That is really quite stable. A little bit more of a pain to set up because you've got to get the strings on, you've got to get it in the position you want, then you're going to set the intonation. What I really like about this tremolo though, the piece de resistance so to speak, is that these don't have springs like the old ones. They are firmly set, these saddles. There's no space between them, they do not rock or move. Whereas if I show you the old one, it really is quite an unstable system. They're on springs here and look how they move left and right. And that's why we replace these with the Staytrem. Now the Staytrem itself, they cost £70. That is not too much really, is it? I would be quite happy to spend £70 myself on one of these if I ever had a Jaguar or a Jazzmaster again. Good thing about this tremolo is you can set them in lock mode, where at the moment that is unlocked. You can lock it off. Oh no, hang on. That's unlocked. That's locked. There is a lock mode there where it doesn't work, but once you put it into unlock, it's still in tune. It stays pretty well in tune. But that bridge is now set. I've not done the intonation. I'm going to do the intonation now with the old strings on, just to get it close to where I want it to be. Once that's done, we're going to whiz the strings off, we're going to straighten the neck, and we're going to turn our attention toward these frets, because the setup is more or less done. Like I say, I'll repeat, I just need to set the intonation, and then that. I'm quite happy with how low the strings are above the first fret. I might cut the slots a little bit later. Once we've addressed the frets, seeing where we need to go with them, then we can come back and we can get the nut sorted out. So we're just going to check the electrics. Now I've got the bridge set up and the intonation set. I'm going to be checking for scratchy pots. Volume pot's fine, tone. Scratchy tone pot. So we'll sort that out. Now I'm going to move on to the bridge and neck pickups. That's bridge on its own. Bridge and neck. Much fuller. And just a neck on its own. A little bit of a crack there. Let's turn these controls down for the just the special control up here. So this should turn off the sound. So we'll have a tone and a volume. So volume. I don't like how abrupt that is. It only works at the last 10 or 20% of the part. Listen. Nothing. And it starts to work there. And that's full. So it only works at the last 25% of the part. Off. It's not even halfway. So let's go from the off. Watch my finger how many turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, just getting some, 5. Got 5.5 turns and it only brings sound in on 5, so that's the volume. And that's the tone. And the tone is scratching there as well. So let's take the pick guard off, get some switch cleaner into these pots to stop that scratching. That's not scratching. As well as get the frets done. So I'm going to get the strings off now. I'll take the plate off once the strings are off, get some switch cleaner in all of these parts, so that will stop all of that scratching. We'll put that back on, we'll put the body aside, and we'll work on the frets. Regarding how level the frets are, they are more or less level. There are a couple need a bit of attention, but it's not about them being levelled, it's not the levelling that is the problem. It is the amount of wear and the indentations across the frets we're going to be filing out. So we're going to smooth them all off, remove as much of these whelps as we can, and we're going to re-crown the lot. Now there's also a lot of wear down this area on the second and third strings all the way along the length down here. I don't know if you can see the pitting in the frets. I'll get as close as I can. And I'll turn it around just a little now and again just so you can see. You can also see in the fingerboard there's a lot of wear in the wood in these kind of areas. We have a lot of pitting. Go as close as I can there. There you go. around these areas. Look how there's all those deep whelps in the frets. I would myself, if this was a main guitar, I would definitely be refretting this. I won't even be faffing about, I won't even be waiting. I was saying just get a refret. But the client doesn't want that because it's a second guitar, so I'm going to try and rescue these frets as much as I can, and we are going to bring them a little bit lower. I have no choice. We're going to bring them that little bit lower, and I don't have a lot of material to re-crown because we're going to flatten them. But re-crown them I will, to the best of my ability. I need to get the neck taped up for that. I'm just going to go across, I'm going to level them with a leveling beam, and I'm going to re-crown with my Stumac Z file. It should just be, the cut should just be high enough to not dig into the fretboard. If it's going to dig into the fretboard, I'm going to have to crown them a different way. I'll have to crown them with a specific crowning file rather than a 3/4 file or the Z file. I will cross that bridge when I come to it, but first I'm going to slightly level the frets. Could do with taking the nut out, but again I'm not doing that because it means I've got to replace it. That's another 45 quid. You know, we'll keep the expenses down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my nut shelf over the neck there, like so, and that means if I'll just turn the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Here you go. I have a specific nut shelf made from varying thicknesses of masking tape, and it is 2mm thick at one end, about 0.5 mm thin at the other, and it creates a ramp, and it goes right up to the edge of the nut there. Creates a ramp, and it just means when I'm coming across with a leveller, the leveller's going to ride up and over this side rather than smash into the nut and knock it off. We'll still get into this last fret. I'm only going to go with a few strokes, we don't need a lot. I'm just going to be removing those indentations. I don't have a lot of height to remove anyway. I've already been across with my new not straight edge from GMI in Greece. Precision leveled this. I've seen this being leveled on the machine. The guy that makes these, Harris, is a master at his craft. So GMI tools are my recommended tools if you're in Europe. Anyway, we're just gonna just zoom over these frets. Don't need a lot of work. Now if I didn't have this on here, it'd be smashing into the nut and would possibly break it. I would like to actually comb a little bit more across, so I'm going to be very, very careful. I'm not going to smash into the nut. And we're just going to smooth off these frets. We're not going to be able to get right into these indentations, they are too deep. Let me just come a little bit closer if I can. We are too deep here. I don't want to be going much deeper because we will get too low, we will not be able to work those frets. So let's just again just following the radius. Nice and smooth down here. Still a little bit of pitching. I'm going to leave that pitching in. We've hardly removed any material, truth be told. Let's just go with the precision straight edge to see where we are. That looks pretty good. We've got no rock there, so I know we're pretty level. Maybe 9.5 radius, I'm sure it is. To see what I've got on a 9.5 radius in here. There's a 12, there's a 14, 7.25, 10. There you go, 9.5. Good thing about this is it's got 400 grit on. A lot better. So we're maintaining the radius, but we're removing material. Try and keep it in a straight line. And you can see on the neck, we're maintaining the radius, but we're removing material, smoothing off those frets. Going to go, we had 2 high ones here. We're going to go across again with the fret rocker, just to see that we're level. We have removed some of those, well, we've not removed anything, but we have filed down lower to the depth of most of the indentations. So we have removed height. These frets are now all level. I'm still going to go back and feel those frets at the headstock end, just to see how much of that pitching we've got rid of. I understand why, if it's someone's second guitar, we don't want to pay for a full price for a refret. A refret though is going to give you longevity, it's going to future-proof your guitar. The fretware I'm using should easily last you 20 years. That's 10 quid a year. Refret's not expensive, so let's just feel. Oh, that's really good. We've really removed some of that pitch. These are still too deep here and on this one, but it is a lot better than it was. We're going to leave that. I'm not pressing down, I'm only pressing down on the forward stroke. I'm just relaxed on the back stroke, pressing down on the forward stroke, just to remove more slightly from this end. And I can feel those frets are pretty smooth, but I wouldn't want to go any lower with those because I'm not going to have enough material left to actually recrown the frets. So I'm going to recrown the frets now. I'm going to have a look, see if my Stumac file is fit for purpose on these frets. Still some deep pits here. I can't go any lower, I will not go any lower. But they're as low as I'll go, where I can still recrown them. So let me get my, I'll just get me a couple of crowning files out. These are the 2 I want to use. In fact, these are the 2 I will be using. So, the one I should be able to use will be this one that is already has the crowns built in, or the curves built in. We'll be using that side, but if I can, I'll be using my Stumac, my Z file from Stumac, which is made for crowning frets. Let's just have a quick look, see where we are. You're not going to see from where you are. I'm going to go across the marker pen. And all being well, if this doesn't cut too deep, we'll get a nice thin line down the centre of that fret where it's flattened a little bit. We're going to put that curve back in. And we are certainly, frets aren't too high to do that, and that is perfect. So we're going to use a combination of these 2 files. Got a nice thin blue line down the centre. I've gone with the Z file, it's not cut into the wood. And then I can finish off, remove any inconsistencies with this file. Also again, it's not going to cut into the wood because the frets are high enough. And there you go, we have that one recrowned. We've got a nice thin blue line right down the centre, so no height has been removed, which means we won't get any rock, which means we've maintained the height, but where we've flattened it on the top, we've now rebuilt that crown. So I'm going to do one more. But these frets are at the, any lower we wouldn't be able to do this. So always wipe the file on every cut, and again 3 or 4 strokes, turn it over, do the other side. Nice thin blue line down the centre, take the profiling file, finish off. And there you go, beautiful. 2 done, got to crack on, get the rest done, maintaining the level across the length. Then we'll get this polished up, get the fingerboard treated, and we can put the guitar back together and get it finished off. Cracking on with the polishing, we've already gone through 4 grits of sandpaper, 600, 800, 1200, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, we've got 1500 and 2000 grits to go. Always give a wipe. Frets looking really, really nice. Still some small indentations. You know, I didn't want to go any deeper on these frets, but I have. I've removed as little material as possible. There's an indentation there, and that's really about it on all the frets. Another small one there, but the rest of them pretty alright. But I couldn't take these any lower. I did recommend this gets a refret, but I says, look, if you want to, we can just level them off, take them as low as we dare, and you'll get another couple of years of wear out of them, which is what we've done. Just polishing them up now. Got 2 grits to go, got 1500 here, really simple. Take your 1500 grit, take sandpaper, wet the back of your finger just so you can grit, spit the crap out because it's got aluminium in it, it's highly poisonous, and just straight over the top of the fret and into the sides. And it doesn't take long, just a few strokes, and move along to the next one. And all we're really doing is we're getting rid of all those lines, those scratches which were that way. And we'll bring them to a nice shine. We'll finish this off with steel wool when I finish with these 2 grits, and these frets will be beautiful. They'll be glass-like, they'll be shiny, and they'll be smooth. So I'm going to crack on. 2 more goes with this, then I'm going to go with the steel wool, and then I can clean the neck up and get it back on the guitar. How's that for you? Beautiful. It's always the best part of fret polishing, peeling off the tape, and you'll see why I always put a strip all the way down the side. It means you can take all the paper off in one go, because it's just a matter of pulling that strip over that is underneath the stripe all the way down. And look at that, it means you can get all the tape off more or less in one fell swoop. And all you've got to do then is take the strip from the side. How good is that? And look at those frets. I don't know how much you can see from where you are. They are beautiful. They're super shiny, they're super smooth, scratch free. They look fantastic. They actually come out better than I thought they would. I thought we still have quite a few indentations. We've got a couple on this one, but we're more or less indentation free. I didn't think we'd be able to get low enough to save these. I didn't think we'd have enough meat left to save these frets. What we're going to have to do though, we're going to recut the nut because the frets are a little bit lower than they were. Probably have to recut that. But that neck is ready to go back, just about ready to go back on the guitar. Let's discard that tape. Just going to give it a squirt of mineral oil, specially formulated mineral oil for guitar necks, for pal ferro, for ebony, for rosewood, all the darker woods. It's not lemon oil as it's called. Lemon oil would destroy the wood. It's specially formulated mineral oil with a hint of lemon to make it smell nice. That's why it's called lemon oil. And there you go, quite a lot on there. I'm not going to leave it on long. We're just going to let that soak in. This serves 2 purposes. One, if all the grime, all the dirty finger sweat and grime and crap, it'll get underneath it so we can get it off, scrape it off. It'll also soak into the wood and slightly nourish the wood. This is something you should do at the very least once a year, maybe even twice a year, just to stop the wood from going brittle. I've worked on guitars where I've removed frets and the wood's been that brittle, it's just split in places. It's been that dry because it's never been sprayed or never had any mineral oil on there. And that is a lot of oil on there, but what I like to do is when I've got it all on, just wipe the edges and give it just a dab on top, just so we don't get too much soaking in there. Wipe off any excess. When I come to properly cleaning the guitar, I'll be using a completely different rag, one that's not got oil on it. But that, I'm going to leave that for about 10 minutes. Frets already polished, so there's no more work to be done. Just need to let that soak in 10 minutes. Once it's done, I'm going to wipe it off with this cloth, finish off with this cloth, and I'll be ready to go back on the guitar. Here's something I always find disappointing on Fender guitars and higher name guitars is mini pots. Now some people say there's not much difference. Well, mini pots don't last half as long as full-size 1-inch pots. Now, I don't know what brand they are. I'm not even going to check, but I don't like to see that. I don't like to see mini pots in a Fender guitar. But anyway, as promised, I'm going to put some switch cleaner in there. My brand of choice, Service All, just to stop these pots scratching. And it makes no difference which pots we're scratching, they're all going to get a squirt of this cleaner. And it should clean off the carbon residue on the wiper, and this should not crackle anymore. So I'm just going to put a good squirt inside. In fact, I'm going to do these ones first because these will be a little bit more difficult because it's sideways on. I'm not going to plug it in and check it. I'm just going to hope I've got enough switch cleaner in there and this does the job. I'm not sure it will. I can't really stand that up. I can't turn it upside down. And let's hope that that's done the job on those two. Also need to get some in the switch. I'm going to attack it from this side. And we'll do the same with these two pots here. Just give a good squirt right inside and there. Plenty in there. And that should be as much as it needs. So let's try and get all this wiring back in there without creating any upheaval. There you go, that's all good. And it's just a matter of swishing these. And that really should be enough. What I will do is I will plug it in a minute. Same with the switch. And all being well, that would have stopped scratching. Something else I've got to look at. The tremolo is not locking. Oh, it says one side. That should be locked off completely, but it isn't. And that should be, it's just not working out. I'm going to have to take this off and have a look inside and see what's happening with this mechanism, because it's not quite right. So let me see what I'm going to do. While wait, I'm going to turn on my amp. And we'll check those electrics here and now. There you go. That's good. We've got no crackling there. Bear with me, postman's at the door. Oh, that was very good. The postman was actually here for me. He bought me new jackets, my new US Army M65 jacket for winter, which is great. But anyway, back to this. It doesn't appear to be any scratching anywhere. There doesn't appear to be anything happening anywhere, that's why. Oh, what with that one? That's good. That's good. Let's try this out. This should just be this one. There you go, we've got no scratching anywhere. So that's the pots all cleaned out, everything's good, the electrics are done. I'm going to move on to the tremolo now. I'm going to get this open, have a look inside, and I'll come back and let you know what I find. Okay, this explains a little. From the outside it looks like it is one of the locking tremolos, and you push this and it locks into place and you can't move the tremolo, but this is not the case with this. That is not actually a lock, it's a dummy. Look. It doesn't do anything, it doesn't lock or anything, it just slides forwards and backwards, that is it. It doesn't actually lock the mechanism, it should lock onto this. Is something snapped off there? No, I don't think so. I just think it's a dummy mechanism. It's just because they had these plates, so we used them, and they're adaptable to make them either lockable or non-lockable, and this is non-lockable. So that explains a lot. It means we've got to set the tremolo right, which we will do, obviously. But that's it, so it's just a matter now of putting this back together, getting some strings on there. While I'm just wiping all the dust and the crap from under where the strings go. We're going to give it a little wipe and clean with a little bit of oil residue on this cloth from when we oiled the fingerboards, so we can use that as a cleaner. It's not going to harm anything at all. In fact, it's going to do it more good than bad. So I'm going to put this guitar back together. I'm going to get my neck back on. We're going to get some strings on. We're going to look at the nut slots, and we're going to get it set up, and we're going to get it ready. This will be done this afternoon. And here we are, all done. And this guitar is a beautiful thing. All I've done since you last saw it was I put strings on. I've set the bridge between furthest forward and furthest back, so it's right in the middle. It will rock backwards and forwards with the tremolo. This being a Staytrem tremolo. It's the best system for a Jazzmaster or Jaguar guitar. Fantastic. They cost £70, 70 English pounds. It will cost you £1 on top for postage. And this guitar has had the full bit. It's had a complete setup. It's had a fret level and redress. I've tightened every nut and bolt and screw, including the strap pins. I've stripped the electrics. We've got some switch cleaner in there. We cleaned up all the static and got rid of all the scratching on the parts. I've also stripped the bridge, finding out that even though it's got the lockable button, it is not lockable. But the guitar is now set up. We've got a nice steady action, medium to low action, 1.75mm on the low E, 1.5mm on the high E. Lovely frets, great fretwork. There was a lot of indentations and deep ones on these frets, especially down this end, but I managed to get them level and still maintain enough height, just enough to recrown them. So they've been beautifully recrowned. The frets look fantastic. I don't know how much you can see from there, but have a pause. Zoom in if you want. They look brilliant. Nick is going to be over the moon with this. I've got the pickups as high as I can get them. We can't really get them super high or as close to the strings as we normally would on a regular guitar because there's not enough spring underneath them. But that said, the guitar plays great, looks great, sounds great, and what a beautiful thing. Nick is going to really enjoy this. Every guitar he's bought to me, he bought a guitar in once. He says, I'm thinking of selling this, so set it up, see how it is. Anyway, when he got it back, he said, I'm not selling this, it's too good. Oh, that's brilliant. I've done my job right. And I hope he's doing the same with this. In fact, I know he's going to keep this guitar. Great looking thing. So, just going to wrap this one up. Just to remind you of my website, which is facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. My name is Victor. I am your fret friend. Also, sorry, fretfriend.co.uk. I'm also on there. And yeah, I am Victor. I am your fret friend. And until the next time, as always, God bless you. Be good to each other. And I'll see you soon.